30 seconds and counting. Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds. 20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes.
Is there anybody out there that wants to roll? And is there anybody out there that wants to boogie? Tonight, live from the Apollo, Glasgow.
Well, if you're looking for trouble, I'm the man to see. If you're looking for satisfaction, the satisfaction guaranteed. I'm as cool as a body on ice, hotter than the rolling dice. Send you to heaven, I'll take you to hell. I ain't fooling, can't you tell? I'm a live one.
Welcome to Glasgow Apollo Live with Scott and Andy.
Hello? Are we there yet? Oh. Can you hear me? Oh man, we're doing a Zoom call. Can I hear you? Because I can't hear you. Hold on. What's going on? Can anyone hear Scott? Ah, no Scott. Oh, this could be a blessing in disguise. Well, I don't know what we're doing. He's obviously been suffering the effects of the long COVID. No. Nope. No. See. It's all me. Oh my God, it's going to be a rubbish show tonight, man. Hello. Stumbling through stuff, Doug. Here's my t-shirt. Yeah, that's it. Have you turned it off and turn it on again? Look, we'll tell you when we hear you, mate. Don't worry. Evening, Bon. It's just me and you and everyone else because Scott's in the quiet zone. Cone of silence. Yes, we know. Oh my God! Don't freak me out. Like, oh, look at that. That's terrible. Of course you can hear me. I'm there. I don't know what he's doing. This is like a Zoom call, but rubbish. Well, what we're going to do tonight, no idea. Well, we'll do the usual. No. We'll tell you when we hear you, mate. Have you tried? Oh, that's good. Unmute your mic. Nice one, Bon. Tommy, come on. He's a professional. Just use the one on your computer. It's fine. Use that one. It is exactly like that. Use your phone. No, we can't hear you. It's exactly like that, Raymond. You're quite right. An old pro. Yeah, that's what he says. Yeah. Mate, whatever you did a minute ago, don't do that again. I never did anything. I was framed. I never did nothing. I was afraid, Mada. There's no. You're gonna have to what? You're gonna have to give us all money. I don't know what he's doing. Glenn Hughes, he is taking his revenge. He's got the gremlins in. Well, what a week it was. I could give you a rundown, but I don't know if I can. Can I do anything? I'll just wait for him. So, anyone any jokes? I'm in the well, we know that. Yes. Well, this is going to be a rubbish show if you're just in the comments. Won't be able to hear your bants, the banters. There's nothing much else we can do, mate. Yeah. What jokes? I don't have any jokes. No jokes. Yeah, that's about it. That's all you can do, mate. Switch it off and switch it on again. When it happens, he's going to say, I don't know what happened there, it wasn't me. That's what he's going to say. Oh, might hear some construction work. Tell us about lockdown then. Well, lockdown was ended a week ago. 2 weeks ago, a week ago. 2 weeks ago. Same. Let's have a look, he said. No. Just put it on your computer. Use your computer, Mike. He's trying, but he won't let me do that. See, I'm like some kind of thing. What happened this day? I could do that. I guess I'll do that. Hold on a second, lads and lassies. What happened this day? Right, anyway. Well, 3rd of Thursday, this October the 16th, 1969. Fleetwood Mac, Collection and the Sleaze Band played what was it, Derek? Was it some kind of students thing? Students gig in the Apollo, fundraiser for something. Students Union probably, making some money. The Who and Quiver, they played on Thursday, October the 21st, 1971. Now, I wasn't there, but a few of you guys were. I think Derek was. Were you there, Derek? Maybe not. But I had a look at that. That looked like a good gig. And Quiver, they probably went on to join the Sutherland Brothers. So difficult to say for me. Sutherland Brothers. Wishbone Ash and Home, they headlined on Wednesday, October the 17th, 1973. Now, I did listen to some Wishbone Ash from, I think it was that album. Yeah, it's quite good. It was alright, actually. I'm not really a big Wishbone Ash fan. I should try and listen to them more, but I don't. I should. I mean, there was 58 bands I had to listen to this week. I didn't get to them all. Had to miss out the Detroit Spinners, the Four Tops, Lynn Paul. Anyway, where's he up to? What's he doing now? Faffing around, probably. He's been very accommodating. Nice one, Bon Scott. Yeah. All right. So where we at? Okay, I did Wishbone Ash. Alvin Lee in 10 Years After. Now, I don't know who the support was for this, but I did listen to the album for this a live album of that tour. That was excellent. I've never really heard Alvin Lee, but that was really quite good. I enjoyed it. Good live album. I think it was just recorded either just before or just after that. Now I can't see what I'm doing, mate. Put it off. Jesus, man. He's a sneaky bugger. Oh, there it goes. Is anyone seeing what I'm seeing? Can you see what I see? Maybe I could share my screen. Can I do that? This is like a rubbish Zoom. Oh, it's back again. Where were we? Oh, Alvin Lee. Nazareth and Silverhead. I listened to this Nazareth album. A couple of those latest albums. Razmanaz. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Razmanaz too. And the Silverhead album. That's a weird album. It's called that they were touring for that. Savaged and 16. No, I don't think you could get away with that title now. And the cover as well of the album. It was a bit on PC for now, but at the time it probably was. Oh, that's quite a good laugh. And some of the songs are a bit dubious, very dubious indeed. But the music's very good. I quite like the music. It's very good. And did anyone go at that? Anyone? Caller? No callers. What's going on? Right, he's still doing it. Okay, so Detroit Spinners and the Four Tops did double headliner. I don't know who came on first, but I was getting mixed up and going the Four Spinners and the Detroit Tops for some reason. I don't know why. It's me being stupid. Right, so I didn't investigate the Detroit Spinners or the Four Tops, sorry. But they headlined on Monday, October the 22nd. I'm sure there's a few fans of that show, those bands watching. Johnny Mathis and Lynn Paul played on Wednesday, October the 16th, 1974. Sorry, I didn't listen to Johnny Mathis either, but he probably did a great show. Uriah Heep and Peter Frampton, they played on October the 20th, 1974. I did listen to the Uriah Heep album from that tour. It's probably not their best album, but about 100 million times better than what I could do. I mean, they had tunes. It sounded fine. It's a wee bit Deep Purple-y, but I think that's their sound. Hammond organ, guitar, singer, bass, drums, the usual thing. I didn't listen to Peter Frampton, although I should have, because I think a couple of years later he was a massive global sensation, selling millions of albums in America and the UK, worldwide. The Who and Steve Gibbons band played on Thursday, October the 16th, 1975.
I've sorted it out.
There you go. The voice from the depths.
Oh dear. Sorry, everybody. My microphone decided to have a bad day, and for some reason, it corrupted everything. So anyway, we're working now. You're doing a good job, mate. Keep going. I especially liked your little intro to the. I was quite impressed with it, actually. That was one of the better bits of this bit. Can we take a wee pause just to start again, because I'm frazzled.
Okay, well, I can keep going with that stuff.
That's all right. How's your week been? What were you listening to this week? Let's do it properly. What were you listening to this week?
What was I listening to this week?
Aye.
Well, it was just all the people on that list. Wishbone Ash, Alvin Lee, Nazareth, Silverhead, Uriah Heep, Black Sabbath, AC/DC, Sham 69, Elkie Brooks, and The Beat.
That's a good mix, isn't it?
It is a good mix. I especially enjoyed Elkie Brooks yesterday. I did. That was fun. Oh, I know all these songs. How do I know these songs?
I'd quite a good one. I went to my first live event for 18 months. I went to see this guy, Bruce Dickinson. And it was really good. In fact, it was brilliant.
Did he write a book and then do a show about it?
Well, to be honest, I think I've said on the show before, the book's really quite light. It's better than Sammy Hagar's one, but that would be hard. But it's kind of, there's nothing personal in it. And to be honest, there's bits that are personal in that show, stage show. But I mean, for example, that picture I've just shown everybody there, this was the letter that his mum and dad got when he got expelled for pissing in the headmaster's food when he was at some posh school, you know. And so there was bits of him that were definitely better. But he was good. He was really animated, and he was Bruce Dickinson, you know. But he was great. I really enjoyed it, actually. And the place I was in the Alexander, which is quite a good size. It must have been what 1,500 people there. It was sold out.
Yeah.
It was a good night. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was good. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So,
Mm.
but apart
I
from
was
that,
going to make a comment
Yeah.
about. I was going to make a comment about Iron Maiden reading books and then doing a performance about it.
that's basically what they do.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
mind it. Though.
I read a review of Iron Maiden that said, "Oh, we read a book and then we wrote a song about it."
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. No,
I
I
think
think
that's a good idea. You know,
It's-
Prime and
it's-
Ancient Mariner.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
all
fair.
that stuff.
It is fair. But
Mm.
just before we let Andy get on with what he was doing so well there on his own, we noticed last
You're
week. Yeah, you were doing fine. We noticed last week there was a lot of people were having problems with their names coming up in the chat. I've had a long chat today with Restream. That did me a lot of good. Anyway, and they said just try again. And I've tried it myself, and my name was deleted as well, Andy. So there's obviously something going on. So if you see yourself coming up in the chat on the stream as Facebook user like you, Boots, see there's Boots's one there. It just says Facebook user. If you click that little link that I just put onto the screen there, or if you go to the top of the Facebook group, it's actually now down to one click. So it's really easy to do. Just type that into your browser and it'll take you out to somewhere else. It says connect to Restream and it brings you back into Facebook. So have a go.
I put the link in the chat, mate.
Okay, all right. And I hope everybody's here this week. If you're not here, let me know, because folk were saying last
If you're not here, let me know.
I was joking. Jesus God.
All right.
Tony, yeah, we can see you're there, mate. There you go. You're nice and clear there. But it was a bit annoying. So I'm sorry about that. But we're getting there, I think. And Andy and I had, well, the reason we went live, I hit the button. It was actually human error, but there was a problem even with it before we went prematurely live. So, anyway, so right, let's get back to what happened this week, and I'll put it back on the screen, mate. There you go. Where did you get up to?
Okay, cool. Oh, I got up to the Who and Steve Gibbons band. I actually did listen to the Steve Gibbons band. Gibbons band. It was like a rocking band from the 1970s. It was fine.
Cool.
It was all right. Yeah, and I didn't listen to the Who, although I should. All right, man, they're a good band. Sorry about Fairport Convention. I didn't listen to them. Your speaker's too loud for me. David Lewis, sorry. They headlined on Friday, October the 17th, 1975. They played last week, many years ago, I guess. But I didn't listen to them. Sorry. I am here, Facebook user. Raymond.
That could be. That's Jim Taylor. Hi, Jim.
Oh no, Raymond's got his name. Sorry, Raymond. I was casting asparagus on yourself. Where are we? Sparks. I actually did. I listened to Sparks as well. So I've listened to a lot of this stuff here. So I did. I quite like the Sparks album, though. The singer's a bit. He's got the same. There's a lot of melody in the singing that sounds the same in each song. Just the way he goes up and down is sort of similar in a lot of songs. But hey,
have you watched the documentary yet?
I haven't yet, no, but I haven't. But
pretty good.
They're. I mean, they must be doing something right because they're still going.
Yes.
Yeah. The only time I saw Sparks was in a. Did I tell you this? No. The only time I saw Sparks was at a motorway service station.
Right.
They came in. I was working at a place in Douglas, and then they came in. Oh. The comment.
Mad dog. Hold on.
Take that as a comment, caller.
I think it was.
Yes, it was the only time I saw them. So I was like, oh, there's Sparks. There's a guy with that weird moustache. What's going on? Black Sabbath and the oddly named Bandy Legs. I suppose Black Sabbath's an odd name as well, but Bandy Legs is an odd name. They played on Sunday, October the 19th, 1975. I did listen to this album from this tour for Bandy Legs, for Black Sabbath. Oh, it was good. I liked it. It's a good album, but I've now forgotten the name of it. Sorry, chaps. Lena Zavaroni, Norman Collier, and Vernon's been practicing that. So your mic was broken. It was the curse of Norman Collier, mate. That's what happened. He knew you were coming on, so he scuppered your mic. I watched a bit of Elena Zavaroni. My goodness, she's
Pocket
a
Rocket.
belter. She's some singer.
She was.
I was watching her singing, Mahi's making eyes at me. Holy moly, what a
Yes.
singer. She is mad. I didn't mean that. She's not mad. She's just, she was a great singer. But an untimely end for Lena. I didn't actually realise she'd passed away. Yeah, and Norman Collier. I watched a bit of Norman Collier. That was quite funny. Although it probably gets a bit dated, that chicken Mike impersonation.
Yes.
I wonder if he did the Mike and the chicken at the same time. So that the chickens might. Anyways, and I don't know who the Vernons were, but yeah. So they played on Tuesday, October 21st, 1975.
Don't know
And
them.
I wasn't sure if that was some kind of variety show where they'd come on and do sketches and Norman, all that stuff, sing us a song and all that stuff. So I don't know. There was not many replies on the
They're an Australian
chat.
blues rock band, mate.
Who are the Vernons?
Vernons.
Maybe they are now, but I don't think they were then.
Aye, no, you're right, because
They're
this is a band formed in 2011.
Yeah, I think they would probably be some kind of joke band, or not joke band, but chat band, comedy band.
I know.
Argent and Dirty Tricks played on Wednesday, October the 22nd, 1975. Didn't listen to Argent. Oh man, can you hear that?
There's a little bit of feedback, yeah.
No, there's
Swap it to your other mic, what usually works.
No, there's construction work going on.
Oh, is it? Oh no, I can't hear that. No.
All right, okay, it's intermittent. Hold on, I'll put the other mic on.
This is going well.
It's going well. I don't know if you can hear that now. Anyway, I should use my other mic. It's only going to be intermittent, cutting bricks up.
It's okay, mate. Honestly, it's fine. It's fine.
Max Boyce and Canticle played on Wednesday, October the 20th, 1976. This is hilarious. I watched a bit of Max Boyce. I'd forgotten who he was. I was getting mixed up with him and Max
Highgraves.
I was in my head. I was going, "Wow, that's not how I remember him." But then it clicked in when he was talking about Welsh folk and all that. It was good. I did listen to a big long 11-minute sort of poem thing. People loved that stuff in the 70s. Really still love it now, but it was a bit funny. Yeah, it was a lot funny, but
He was very funny, the guy, yeah.
it was of his time. But yeah, that was being a Welsh football fan. He loved the Wales. Yeah, good on him. I mean, he made a good living.
He did.
Brilliant. Yeah, the one I listened to, he was talking about a guy called William McGonigal something Evans. It was pretty funny. Yeah, it was a bit mad.
He's still alive.
Aye, yeah. Well, he's looking all right there. He's doing well.
Yeah. He had a quadruple bypass recently and came through it.
Oh dear.
Quadruple, eh? Oof.
All right. And I didn't listen to Canticle because it sounded a bit odd, a bit rude. Testicle. But I think a canticle is a Catholic sort of prayer thing, I think. I'm not sure. It's a little cant. Oh dear. Demis Roussos.
Hey.
Whoa. Was he the Saviour Love My Darling guy? Was that him?
I don't know. He was in Aphrodite's Child. I know that. The prog band.
Oh, okay. Was it? Obviously,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's Rennie and Renusso. Saviour Love My Darling. Maybe that's them. Yeah. Demis Roussos. Sorry, let's get serious about having fun. Right. Yeah. Demis Roussos, Friday, October 22nd, 1976, 45 years ago, Demis Roussos. I strode the Apollo stage and cranked out a few belted out a few crankers. Excellent gig. The Stranglers and the Rosillos played on October the 16th, 1977. See, when you go down this list on a Monday or whenever it is I do it, and then I just go down it and go, all right, okay, I'll listen to that. I missed some, so I should have listened to the Rosillos and the Stranglers. Sorry, Rosillos fans.
There is a the Rosillos that have got a live album from the Apollo.
Yes, yeah, they do. That's what I should have listened to. Yeah.
We've always resisted playing it because we thought we'd get kicked out. But maybe one week we should try it as the last track of the night and play one of their tracks.
We get booted, mate, for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of people really like them though.
Yeah. But I mean, the Stranglers are a fine rock band. Although I was listening to, I read a thing about in classic rock yesterday about the Stranglers and AC/DC. Have you read this week's classic rock?
I stopped getting it because it was the same bands every week. I was getting bored with it.
All right, okay. So the Stranglers were playing, AC/DC and the Stranglers were playing some big festival in America, and there was a bit of, I think there was a bit of, there was a couple of words said, and the Stranglers said, you guys are just a bunch of hairy hippies.
Oh.
And then AC/DC went on and, ripped the place apart, and then, because Bon Scott was going to, probably have a word with the Stranglers bass player, but he would have come off worse, I think.
That was the Wembley gig, was it not? When they supported the Who?
No, it was in America. Maybe it was.
Right.
Because I think it might have been Wembley. It might have been. Yeah, I could be wrong. I'm almost sure I'm wrong.
I've actually got an image here. Hang on.
But Bon Scott wanted to have a word and some fisticuffs with the Stranglers about being hippies, and he said, we're not. He just said, "Cut that, you bunch of cheeky monkeys." Yeah. Wishbone Ash and the Motors played on Monday, October the 17th, 1977. I did listen to, I keep forgetting that I listened to the Motors this week too. Quite good songs. Good, I liked them. Yeah, although they had an album called Airport, which was a bit confusing for me because I was on the Motors. Well, why would you? Might have an airport song. AC/DC and the Suburban Studs played on Saturday, October the 22nd, 1977. This is AC/DC's this is debut Apollo show with the Let There Be Rock album. It's good. I played that yesterday. It's a cracking album. Brilliant album. That and Highway to Hell probably went on the basis to make If You Want Blood. And Power Age, sorry. So they're, you can't really say anything wrong about that. It's a good gig. Oh, if you don't like AC/DC, you can. But I don't know who'd be in this room doesn't like AC/DC.
No.
Suburban Studs, I didn't give them a go. I don't know. I think they were sort of not the leftovers, the remainders of another band, like not the Hoople or some other band that needed to make some music and make some money, so they decided to go as that. I don't think they didn't do much after that. I don't think. Probably went on to bigger and better things. The Buzzcocks and Subway Sect played on Saturday, October the 21st, 1978. Didn't listen to the Buzzcocks, but I do quite like a bit of Buzzcocks. And the Subway Sect, I know a lot of people on the group were there, so because there's a lot of people saying, yeah, I was there, but there was a couple of folks saying, oh, they were not very good.
I think Pete Shelley is a terrific songwriter. He wrote some brilliant pop songs.
Oh yeah,
punk songs. Absolutely fantastic writer.
And probably not one of them over 3 minutes 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Which is you don't need any more than that, I don't think.
No, I don't you do. No.
The Subway Sect. I was reading about them, and then I think their main guy was a guy called Vic Godard, I think. And I seem to remember, as soon as I heard that song, I just that title. I thought, oh, that reminds me of a song called "Is Vic There?" that I used to
Oh,
hear
aye.
on
Yeah.
on John Peel. I think, but
Yeah.
I think some members of the band who made that song were in Subway Sect, I think. Whitesnake and Marseille, brilliant. This was a sort of sweet spot for Whitesnake at the time.
Good Whitesnake. Yeah.
And a lot of Whitesnake fans think this was the best
Yeah.
incarnation of the band. Well, one of the best incarnations. It was on Tuesday, October the 16th, 1979. So that was that Ian Pace, Mickey Moody, Bernie Marsden.
Yeah.
Um,
It might have been Cozy. No, it was Ian Pace, I think, in 79. I think you're right.
and David Gillan.
Bomber Hodgson, whatever his name was. I think that was a wee bit later, though, was it not?
Yeah, that might have been. No, this is I listened to the live and not live and I listened to a live concert from Hammersmith.
All right, okay.
And it was just maybe like a couple of days, like a week after this gig. Sounded great. Dave's giving it big licks as he's known to. Here's a song for you. Every song.
He still uses the same pattern, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's great. He's brilliant. I like him.
Yeah, it's good.
He's a good.
The voice isn't so good anymore.
Well, he's doing what he can do with what he's got.
Yeah.
And he's got a great band now. Well, he's got a really good band that are all fantastic singers. So that does help.
It helps. Yeah, it helps.
Marseille, I didn't listen to them, but you can get confused with them. There was an 80s band called Marseille as well, I think, if it's the same band. Sham 69. I did listen to this Sham 69. I listened to... I forgot the name of the album, but it's called... it's got Hersham Boys on it.
Good song.
I quite liked that. Hersham Boys was good. A lot of the other stuff was really quite 60s influenced, kind of Doors. There was a Doorsy type track, and
really,
it was a bit odd. But it wasn't as punky as I would have expected.
I like the "If the Kids Are United" song. I thought that was brilliant.
Oh yeah, good. It's good. I saw a couple of folk were going, a couple of contributors to the Facebook page were saying, they were just a bunch of like a boy band, pop band. Yeah, well, that's just that's your interpretation, but you can't really fault his intention, because he did want to see his area in Hersham become better, and he was sort of like an activist for his area, so he did have a good intentions. Elkie Brooks was doing an album. Oh man, I forgot the name of the album. Sorry, I forgot the name of everything because it's this morning. I did listen to her album. That album, probably not her rockiest and bluesiest album, but the album after this was Peril, and I listened to Peril, and that's a great album. And I listened to her greatest hits, and that's what I was saying, like Lilac Wine and Fool If You Think It's Over. She's a great singer, and I saw someone Facebook contributor said one guy had gone. He didn't tell his mates that he was going. Didn't tell anyone that he was going to see her. It was sort of like his guilty pleasure, because I think he was a bit of a rocker, and he went to see Elkie Brooks. But, there's no guilty pleasures. It's just all pleasures.
Just what you like. Yeah.
It's just what you like. You could like one thing, and everyone else can hate it. There was another guy. He said he'd been to see. That was the person he'd seen most at any live concerts, and he goes, "What did he say? It's like I still fancy her, like mad or something." Yeah, it's funny. So that was on Sunday, October the 21st, 1979. And the Sham 69 played on October 19th, 1979.
Right.
That was a busy week there. White
Wasn't it,
Snake,
huh?
Sham 69, Nelkie Brooks, and then Camel on your favourites, Camel,
Yeah. Twiddly
on
twiddly.
October. Twiddly, twiddly, noodly. Let's get the prog out. They played on October 22nd, 1979.
There's
Wow.
actually a Camel release recording, not the one from upstairs, but the one from the actual Apollo has appeared. I don't know if anyone else has seen it yet, but there's the link. It's good quality as well.
So I'm
It's
not
on the
looking at
YouTube.
you. On the YouTubes.
It's on the
Okay.
YouTubes. I'll tell you what, I'll save it to the Apollo YouTube channel, mate. Just give us a minute to do that now.
So they've been progtastic that day, 42 years ago, and one day. That's amazing. The Pretenders and Moondogs. Oh man, another band I didn't actually get to listen to this week. They played on Thursday, October the 16th, 1980. Know a few of the contributors were at that gig. Some of them said it was great. Some said it was okay. Some said it was rubbish. So it just depends on your mood of the day, I think. Moondogs didn't give you a go either. UFO and Fist played on October the 20th, 1980, 41 years ago. Did I listen to this? I didn't listen to this, but I'm sure. Oh, that's right. It was the first gig after Michael Schenker had left. The first tour after Michael Schenker had left. So they got Paul Chapman in. And that was a good band.
Too right.
Yeah. I saw them a few years later at the Barrowlands. And that was a good gig. And I'm not sure about Fist.
Still going.
Still going. Well,
Yeah.
I should listen to it. It's 58 bands. It's a lot of time.
Yeah, they were a bit. They were one of those new wave of heavy metal bands that didn't quite make it, but they did it like Weapon. You remember Weapon? Danny, lovely Danny. They kind of got support slots and they did that sort of thing, and they just didn't quite grab it.
All right.
But they were
So
okay. I thought they were a decent band.
All right.
Same there.
So they were sort of like first division.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not Premier League.
No.
If that's the
sort of Hibs level, that sort of Hibs.
level.
Yeah, Hibs.
You've just alienated a few Hibs fans.
Am I bother?
Yeah. Well, you're a Hearts fan. You don't care.
Exactly. Follow
Hookwind. Yeah. Hookwind played with Vardis. Yeah. Hookwind. Vardis. They're a no wobbum. I'd say they're a no wobbum band.
You remember them on the Tube? They had crazy long hair and it looked kind of very.
On the Tube.
Aye, yeah, and they were like a lot of people see them as quite important. They're like one of the sort of the bands that got a lot of the heavier stuff going. The death metal and the power metal and all that. I mean, I'm sure James or one of the other guys will tell us all the different subgenres, but yeah, they did really quite well. Them, not in sales terms, but there's
good reputation and influential. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Okay. And somebody's just asking, did Weapon support Motorhead? They definitely did. I know for a fact they did because I've spoken to Danny about it. One of the best moments of his life. And the other thing that's funny about Weapon, the singer in Metallica to this day wears his battle waistcoat and he's got a Weapon patch on it. So Danny loves that because he's still the guy in Metallica loved Weapon. So yeah, so that was quite a good band. I liked them. All right.
So they played on Tuesday, October the 21st, 1980. Is this right? That was 41 years ago.
Oh, it's just crazy, man. I remember walking down the high school, the primary school lane, thinking it's going to be amazing when it's 1980. Oh dear.
And it was
Zoom.
it was the best. The best of times.
Yeah.
Saxon and Riot played on Sunday, October the 18th, 1981. I did listen to Saxon. I think I gave him a wee couple of tracks. I quite like them. I do like them. I do like Saxon. They're a perennial favourite of the heavy metal crowd. But you know, they did write. They wrote a lot of songs about that weren't typical
They did.
heavy metal fare.
Yeah.
You know, assassination of a president.
Yeah. 747 Strangers in the Night. It's a great
747
song.
coming down in the night. It's good.
That's
It's good.
great
They're
song.
good. Yeah. So and Riot. Sorry, I didn't listen to Riot, but did they support Sammy Hagar?
I think they did. They did a lot. They supported a lot of bands actually. A lot of folk
Yeah.
really liked them.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, I saw them a couple of times, and I thought they were pretty good as well. But then it
Yeah.
never quite stuck with me. But yeah, they were really popular. I mean, a lot of folk really liked them, and a lot of folk reckon they should have been huge. You know, they were very good.
Yeah.
It's a bit like you know that Canadian band April Wine.
Yeah.
The same sort of thing. You know, they wrote good songs, but never quite, for some reason, just never quite got there. It's really must be so frustrating for them. Because they're definitely good enough to make it.
Yeah. It's just all that stuff's a bit of luck as well.
Luck. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The Shadows and the Shadows just themselves played on Monday, October the 19th, 1981. There probably was a support band, but no one came forward and said who they were. Probably a good show. Lots of synchronized dancing and plinking of guitars. And
Yeah.
did he do a version of what was that song? Oh, The Deer Hunter. Did he do that?
I think he did. Yeah, it wasn't what you would call special.
Right.
I mean, he was a great guitar. Well, he was a terrific, very talented.
He still is a guitar. He lives over in I think he lives in Perth in Australia. He's still recording and everything. I watched a video of him a couple of weeks doing some new tracks. Wow. So
But it must be really hard having worked with Cliff Richard for so long, you know, to keep yourself going after working with him. Yeah, it must be a real challenge.
What that because of the high life, you know, what? Because you don't know, because it's been such a high bar, Cliff.
That's what it is, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah.
My mum, when I was a kid in the late 70s, all she played was Cliff Richard, or as my dad called him, of course, Cliff Richards.
Oh,
who caught COVIDs at Asda's, you know. But Cliff Richards.
Did he go shopping down in Aldi's?
and I absolutely hated the man for a long time. But then he brought out those singles in the 80s. I've said this before, I think Devil Woman and Carrie Doesn't Live Here Anymore. And they were good pop songs. You can't, you know. But he's still at it these days. Still at it. Singing as well.
Oh, Jesus. You have the lawyers at the door, mate.
Don't care.
Dr. Hook and Mary Hopkins played on October the 20th, 1981. She was in it was, I think, I was doing a bit of homework on Mary Hopkins because I kind of knew who she was, but she did. I didn't know this, but she did. You know, the theme. There's what's the lady in Blade Runner called? Rachel.
Yeah.
She did the female backing vocal for that Rachel's theme in Blade Runner.
Did she?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's a lovely piece of music. That
it is. It's a good album. It's a good album actually. That soundtrack is amazing. But she was in a band at that point called Sundance. But I don't think they went anywhere. Right. Obviously, they didn't go anywhere. So I'm pretty sure Dr. Hook. Well, they did 2 nights actually. Dr. Hook. They played October the 20th and October the 21st. 2 nights. Probably sellouts. Obviously, it must have been a sellout if there's 2 nights.
Yeah.
And they probably had a whale of a time because I believe they really liked Glasgow and Glasgow really liked them. I don't know if that was
one of the first bands we ever interviewed, mate, was on the
Yeah.
Apollo website. If you go in there, in the interview section, there's a whole discussion with Dennis from Dr. Hook.
right. Well, he liked the Glasgow people. Yeah, so they probably played some. I saw a picture of. Did you? I saw a picture of him standing on the guy with the patch, standing on a chair on the stage.
All right.
That looked a bit scary.
The
I
Apollo.
mean, you're already like 25 feet up.
40.
10, you're 10 feet
40.
up. Is it 40 feet?
I never get any abuse for putting 40 feet in a post.
I know. I
Not
nearly
a
did.
single bit of abuse.
I
Couldn't
was
believe
going
it.
to I was going to tell you that. I was going to say, hey, I thought it was 50. But
I've gone to Billy Sloan, it was 150.
Nah, it wasn't. He's just hyperbole there. It was 10, wasn't it? 10. Yeah. I've had it from the mouth of Mr. Willie Potts, and he said it was 10 feet.
I'd stick
So
with
I
it.
believe 10. I believe. Well, you can stick with Willie. It's fine. Lloyd Cole and the Commotions played. Oh no, it was Kid Creole and the Coconuts.
It was Lloyd Cole and the Commotions.
Lloyd Cole and the Coconuts. Kid Creole and the Coconuts played with Musical Youth. That doesn't sound right. Kid Creole and the Coconuts, supported by Musical Youth, played on Monday, October the 18th, 1982. I mean, it would have been a fantastic show. A few contributors on the Facebook page said they were there, and it was a great show. Great show, great gig. And that was them when they were just at their sort of peaking time. Annie, I'm Not Your Daddy, and all that kind of stuff. Pop, you'd see them on top of the pops and go, "What is this? Where are these creatures from?" Certainly not from Glasgow. Hot Wind and Baron Rojo, or is it Baron Rojo? They played.
Rojo, yeah.
Rojo. They played on October the 19th, 1982. Probably a set filled with psychedelia and various vapors in the audience. Yeah. And the beat, there's a bit of contention about this gig. I'm not really sure if this gig actually went ahead.
Right, okay.
But I have a recording. I got a recording of Jack, and the guy who did the recording texted me a wee while ago and said that it was from the Apollo.
Right.
But I haven't seen any tickets or anything else. I was being a bit sleuthy and doing a bit of Googling on that, but couldn't find any more info about it, apart from there's another site that says they did it. But the gig I listened to, there was 22 songs, and it was an hour and 20 minutes long. It was incredible. Or an hour and 30 minutes long.
That's madness.
It was amazing.
Madness.
Oh, the songs! I love the songs. They were really
were
good
good.
fun.
They were very good. They were excellent. I think are they still going, mate? Are they?
They're still going. I think they're still going in America. They're making a bit of money, making a living in America. But they're called the English Beat in America.
Are they? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there's a band in America called the Beat.
The Beat.
But there's one of the start of. I know it's in Glasgow, this gig, because Jack pointed out to me. He goes, listen to the start of the last song, and the saxophone player plays "I Belong to Glasgow." So
right, okay.
And
it's
the crowd,
giveaway.
It is a bit of a giveaway, and the crowd go mental. The crowd are going mad, but it doesn't sound like a gig recorded at Tiffany's, which they played, I think, a week or two before.
Right.
On the same tour, so the crowd sounds too big,
Right.
It just sounds like a big concert.
Yeah.
But
I have heard some funny edits of concerts though, because it's about remember that girls' school gig that I think you were there as well. I was at that. There was only 2 rows of people, but when you listen to the live album from that show, it sounds like it's in a theatre. It sounds like it's in a stadium. They're really being a bit creative with a
they probably got the
crowd.
Got the crowd from somewhere else.
Different track, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
there's a few comments here, mate, that I thought are worth
all right.
reading out.
So
Yeah.
I haven't been looking.
Tony Robbins saying it was Rennie and Renata that did that song that you were trying to.
All right, okay. Rennie and
Um,
Renata.
And a Facebook user said the same thing effectively. And another Facebook user said, who remembers stripping the foil of the Apollo of album covers and posters if you were lucky to get in early? Do you know what? I was always too scared. I think I was scared of the bouncers.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Actually, yeah. Talking about that, I did. Someone posted a link to Kenny Forbes's PhD.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
And someone said boring, and I'm like, well,
Nah.
you can't.
There's
if you haven't
rules.
read
There's
it-
rules
if you
when you
haven't
do a
read-
PhD.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if the guy read it. He might have just been
No.
on. But I,
Yeah.
I read a bit of it last night about the bouncers.
Yeah.
It was very interesting.
Yes.
There's heaps of stuff I didn't know.
Yeah. No, it's worth reading. It's worth reading. I think it's worth reading as well.
I mean, I've got some. Like he does say that like the website says that it's mostly rock. Yeah, but it was mostly rock.
It was. It's funny that most of the reporting's actually biased the other way, mate. It's the list all these bands and don't list any of the rock bands. It was like, what?
Yeah.
You know.
But he does say, I sort of, I didn't take exception to it. I was like, well, not every, it's not a definitive list. There's still gigs coming in. So
yeah, but our list is the most definitive there is by a country mile.
Yeah.
There are 10,000 people editing that list every week.
Well, Derek McAdam is telling me all the time. No, he didn't do it. They played somebody else. So
there's a few folks saying about UFO and how brilliant they were. Ricky there saying he saw them 3 times at the Apollo and many times since. I only ever saw them once, and that was at the Playhouse in Edinburgh. I really wish I'd seen them more often because they've written some brilliant and actually some beautiful music. Some of the piano and stuff that UFO do, it's very underrated, I think. Great band. And Tony Robbins saying basically the same thing. Absolutely right. Derek's saying Fists were excellent. Yeah, I've heard that. I can't quite remember them too well, but I have heard a lot of folks saying they were a pretty good outfit. And Tony's saying Police Patrol, great Vardish track with bagpipes. Oh, I haven't heard that, Tony. I'll need to have a wee look for that, Andy. See if we can have a listen to that. And there, Derek just had agreeing there that Riot should have been huge. Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Who's this? Tony again. 40 years since Saxon and Riot bought the Riot album the next day. Yeah, I think a lot of us did. I think I did as well. I think I got it on cassette actually. But
Adams.
Adams.
Joey
yeah.
Adams.
Well, probably Kenny Harvey bought it, mate, and I copied it for him because he had money and we didn't.
It'd be Smiler.
Smiler, yeah. Derek agrees with me on the April Wine Riot thing. Yeah, I mean, April Wine are a brilliant band. I mean, absolutely brilliant. And I can't get how they never got huge. And Derek's also saying Cliff Richard was always at it. Yeah, too bloody right he was.
Yeah. Did you read that? I've got a little. It's from the comment that Willie Potts made about Lena Zavaroni. Did you read?
What was that, mate?
Oh, he said that. I'll just read it. He said, They asked me to go. This is Lena Zavaroni. He said, they asked me to go and ask the audience to welcome Lena Zavaroni on stage. No chance, he says. So, as my daughter had been hanging about all day and spent much of her time with Lena, I asked her to go and do it. Sharon, do you fancy going out to the centre mic and saying, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to welcome on stage Lena Zavaroni? She said, sure, Dad. And off she went with her long blonde hair, big denim overalls, kickers and an Afghan coat. And he says, never let a hippie dress your Wayne. The follow spots hit her, lit her up, and the audience clapped. And he thought, oh no, they think she's Lena. And he said, she'll freeze. And he said, did she what? She belted out the introduction with no fear, and on came Lena, and off came my daughter.
Excellent.
I was really proud of her because my bottle would have crashed. I would work the stage in full view to repair anything during any performance, but never announce anything, even if the place was on fire.
Excellent.
And then he goes. He said, I can't even remember how old she was. She was 4.
Oh my word, that's
Yeah.
outrageous! Brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
There was another story that Frank Lynch told me. Frank Lynch is the fellow who owned the Apollo in the later days. I asked him, who was the nicest person ever to play the Apollo, and he said it was Gary Glitter by a mile. And then I asked him who was the most difficult person to play the Apollo. Cliff Richards by a mile.
Oh.
And apparently Cliff Richard told his driver just to run the kids over, when he was getting out the Apollo. Whereas Gary Slater was, sitting, taking as many folk in backstage to sign their programs as wanted.
Aye, well.
Yeah. But
well, we know where that got.
terrible. What a numpty.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, let's see if there's anything else. Love UFO. Brilliant story about Lena. Yeah, it was a good story, that wasn't it? It was excellent. So yeah, that was well done, mate. That was a mental week at the Apollo.
I think that is probably the most gigs.
I think you're probably right. So I think without any further ado, we should probably move on because we're going to be here all night. Look at the time already.
Oh.
Hello, he's Andy Muir in Sydney, and I'm Scott McCarthy here in the Cotswolds, and this is Glasgow Apollo Live. Now, the socials this week, well, it's been roasting. Happening. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Well, I'll say it like there's 10,211 members now, new members, not new. And there's 74 new members. We had 6,436 active members. I'll say it again every week. Thank you very much for contributing.
Unbelievable.
Liking, commenting, disliking, arguing. There was a few arguments the other day, but yesterday, so I just deleted that post. I thought that was pointless. Pointless arguments. You're never going to change anyone's mind.
Nope.
So why try? You're right. No, I'm wrong. You're wrong. I'm right. That kind of thing. There's 65 posts, 1,519 comments, probably more by now, and 3,690 reactions. There was a lot of great posts.
Yes.
I enjoyed many of them. I like the. It's good to see people commenting about stuff that's not rock bands, like Lena Zavaroni, for instance. Yeah.
So yeah, good week. So let's keep it going because we're over an hour here because I was having a bit of a nightmare at the start. So let's just keep going. There's, as you know, we're also looking at trying to gather together some memorabilia from the Apollo. We got a good one this week. It was the professor started a conversation about UFO, and Jim Greenan sent in his program and his ticket all signed by the band, and that's a brilliant place they're standing there, mate, isn't it? Look at that. Looks like an airport.
Looks like a golf course.
Golf course, aye. Yeah, it's cool. Is that which one's Pete Way? It's either the one next to Phil Mogg or the one with his shirt open. I can't quite tell.
The one with the shirt open. I can't tell because he's not got the polka dots on.
No, it's really weird. Yeah.
Although it looks like he's ironed his jeans. Oh my god. Oh dear. Yeah. That's probably when they were. I wonder if they were recording their album.
Yes.
In is it the Bahamas or Hawaii with George Martin?
Ah, that makes sense. Makes sense. I must tell the George Martin story that I've got sometime. But so yeah, that was good. And the other one I liked, and there was this one, mate. It was
I didn't actually see this picture.
Did you not? I'll put it back.
No.
I went through the comments. It was in the comments that the professor had put the picture up.
Right.
And then I went through the comments because I like UFO, so I was interested in what folk were saying. And Jim had put all these bits and pieces in. The other one I quite liked, and it's such an obvious one, but it's been a while since somebody asked it. Ian McDonald asked it. What was the band the first band you saw? at the Apollo. And I think there's 200 odd comments on it, mate. It was massive.
Oh yes,
And,
I did see that one. Yeah.
So it's quite right. It's quite right. Quite good fun. And I think Crocus were a great advocate of the AC/DC sound, weren't they? They were brilliant at it. They really did. Some of
You say advocate, yeah.
their song. I mean, that Bedside Radio was a good song.
Yeah.
If you
Oh
remember
no, they're a
that.
good band. They're a good rocking band. Where are you from?
Sweden, I think, or something like that.
Switzerland? Yeah.
But the wee
Mark's-
awful,
was
the
it
wee
Mark's
man, the wee singer was, I think he was auditioned to be in the band actually, AC/DC at one point.
Oh,
So pretty obviously.
Yeah.
So anyway, just before we finish, a couple of things. Now, we're nearly there. We're almost sold out. We've got about 10 tickets left. So if you're hoping to come to the Orders get together, I really suggest you grab your tickets. They're only a £5, so if you need to, and you can actually return them the day before the event. So if you're worried about buying tickets because you're not sure what you're doing yet, buy them, because I don't want folk to be disappointed. And you guys are so supportive. I'd be annoyed if somebody tried to get a ticket and they couldn't. So
that reminds me.
Yeah.
If you are wanting to get a ticket, not a ticket, a T-shirt, if you go to the www.glasgowapollo.com/merch/, there is a sale on there this week.
Is there?
For the next day or two, I think. And T-shirts are, I think, £13.
Well, that's
£12
good.
maybe. So that's just for the next day or two. And I put a new one up, a new colour. It's the same T-shirt, but it's got a blue Glasgow Apollo thing. I should have sent you that.
You should have.
But I should have sent that. But you know. But if you want to go and get one, get one. If you don't,
That'd be great. That'd be
matter,
great.
but it would be great if you did.
Yeah. And as I say, there's only 10 tickets left for that Lauders get together. So let's make sure we don't disappoint anybody and get your tickets soon. Usual call out and thanks to the guys at Rescue Recording, Jack McCafferty, Stephen McAnally and Phil Osborne. Absolutely fantastic effort. This week they brought us a couple of interesting shows, including The Who, which is what we're going to play out with, and Battle of James Harvest as well. Now, I listened to the Battle of James Harvest one. The recording wasn't brilliant, but it was still, you could tell it was the Apollo because the noise of the crowd was incredible. But thanks to Jack, Stephen and Phil. Absolutely great job. And if you haven't joined their site, get over there. They've got a brilliant spreadsheet with all the gigs. There's 300 odd gigs in there now they've got recordings of. So the gig that you were at, you've always wanted a recording of it, they've probably got it. And they still keep bringing out these, finding these gigs. It's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And they were getting some abuse here about no a hairy Chester mentioned, basically, is what he's saying there. Well, let's talk about, we talked about Saxon. They're hairy Chesters. Come on.
Yeah.
Were you away having a cup of tea or something there, mate? Come on. Right, so
you can't get more hairy Chester than Saxon.
no. So this is the band we're going to finish with tonight, mate. I didn't have time even to tell you that, did I?
No, you
and I reckon probably on balance, they're probably, I don't know, the second most popular band. Maybe AC/DC first, or maybe co-first, then The Who, but it's a close run thing. And this is a good recording of Babbo O'Reilly, which I always thought, like a lot of other numpties that weren't big Who fans, was Teenage Wasteland. And it's the opening track from the album Who's Next, which is just a brilliant album. His Snottiness Townsend originally wrote it, and I didn't know this until I read his biography, for his Lifehouse project. That's the sort of rock opera he was writing, mate. I don't know if you read about it. And it was originally it was 30 minutes long, and they edited it down to, whatever it is on the album. I don't know, 8 minutes or something. It's still quite a long track, I think.
Great. It's a great song.
That's a great song. And apparently, and again, it's always the same with Townsend. He's not consistent. He says one thing in one place and another thing in the other, but it seems to be that the Teenage Wasteland idea came from a 1969 Isle of Wight festival when all the kids left and it was just a mess of rubbish,
Oh
So
yeah.
if your mum or your dad are telling you that they used to pick their litter up at concerts, unlike these days at Glastonbury, they're talking bollocks, and refer them to Mr. Townsend, because it was just the same. And the other story goes that it was actually at a big festival, America. I live near it. What's it called, mate?
Right.
The biggest pop festival,
Woodstock?
rock festival, Jimi Hendrix.
Woodstock?
Woodstock. It was either Woodstock or the Isle of Wight festival. So the name Baba O'Reilly quite often confuses people, including me. And the reason for it was that he was right into one of the sort of spiritual leaders over in Asia at the time called Mayor Baba, and a musician called Terry Riley, who had both provided him with philosophical and musical influence. So he named it that way. I don't know if that stacks up. How does that translate to Teenage Wasteland? I even heard them talking about it once on, I think it was on Wogan or something, and I couldn't get my head around it. I couldn't understand what he was talking about. But
I've never actually thought about the title of that song.
have you know? No, well,
Never
that
gone.
did, I
Why is
felt
it
like
called Baba O'Reilly?
somebody said to me, you know, what Who songs do you like? And I said, well, I really like Teenage Wasteland. And he went, huh? There isn't a song called Teenage Wasteland. And of course, it was Baba O'Reilly. So here is Teenage Wasteland from the Glasgow Apollo. Not bad, eh?
Oh, sorry, it ended a bit abruptly there. Sorry.
That should have faded out. But
Yeah.
the bit at the end with the mouth organ's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love it, and you can feel the energy in the room building up. It's absolutely fantastic.
Good song.
And it's a great song. And Ian Baird's saying that's a hell of a bass sound that Entwistle had. He was some bass player. What a talented bloke he was.
Yep.
He used to live. In fact, he died 6 miles from where I'm sitting right now. Well, he used to live. I don't know if he died there, but he lived there.
He died somewhere else.
I think he died in America, didn't he? Aye, but he lived here. He lived in Stone-the-Wold, which is just down the road here. And the one part of him is still alive because, forgive me if I've told this story before. I think I probably have on the Zoom call, but he had his wife and him had a parrot, a grey parrot, and that grey parrot was famous for swearing at everybody. And when he died, his wife kept it. When she died, one of the bouncers got it, and he happens to be a mate of mine, and he lives in Morton on the Marsh. So the grey parrot is still alive after all these years, which is quite bizarre.
Does it swear with his words?
It still swears like Entwistle, yeah. It's apparently she hated it. He was telling me that she hated it, but she kept it because it was his. And then they said when she died rather young and unexpectedly, I believe, he got it. So it's quite good. Scottish Billy's what he's called. I think I'm Scottish Scott and he's Scottish Billy. So anyway, so
Scottish
Scott. Fucking hell. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed tonight. And I'm really sorry about earlier on. That was terrible. Well done, Andy, mate, for dealing with that. You did a good job, buddy. Absolutely horrible. It's happened once before, so maybe in future I'll know just to relaunch the mic rather than try to fix it from the settings. So anyway, so next week I will probably be in Devon next week, so we could be doing this on my phone. That'll be fun, won't it? We'll have a go. There might be some nice water behind us to give us a bit of atmosphere.
Right. Where are you going? All right, okay.
So it's half term in England.
Maybe we'll do a prelim test.
A test. It might be an idea. John McCalman earlier said that you should get a pay rise because you had to fill in at the beginning.
Well, nothing is nothing.
Well, yeah, you have 300% pay rise, buddy.
Woo!
That's you're made. So anyway, my name is Scott MacArthur.
My name is Andy Muir.
Well done, got it out. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Sorry again a bit earlier on. What were you going to say, mate?
I was just going to say thanks.
Okay.
Thanks
if
for
you want
watching.
to join us on Zoom, it would be great. I have posted it at the top of the Facebook group. I'll put it on here as well. Where is it? Zoom. There it is. It just gets crazier every week. But if you'd like to join us, that would be fantastic. I'm quite looking forward to it, which I'll explain why when we get over there. But so good to see everybody. And thanks again for tuning in. And we'll see if we can get this a bit more professional next week, even if we're in Devon and Sydney rather than the Cotswolds in Sydney. Good night.
It'll be fine. See you.
Yeah. Bye.